What up, everybody? What up, everybody? And welcome back to Matty P's Urban Podcast. Yes, of course, I knew you all have heard of Tori Branum, you know, who's running for office in that Savannah, Georgia. Well, she's the one who admitted to calling the police and ICE on the Hyundai factory in Savannah. And she's doubling down on it. She don't know she may have cost the United States $450 million of American jobs. Now, South Korea is pissed because they came up to help to train, to show American workers how to make the batteries work with robotics and all that. But hey, she's MAGA. She called the police and ICE and had it raided. Almost 500 people were arrested. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, I got a bunch of clips of people's reaction to it, and you got a clip of what Donald Trump had to say too. So we're going to get on to the video clips, but before we do, I want you to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification button. And oh yeah, y'all, there's a hype button down there. Hit that hype button for me. All it does is help push my videos out there. Yeah, because hey, I need the help. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So let's get it. Help your boy out, man. Let's get it.
Suspected of living and working illegally. Over 300 of them were South Korea. Did you know they were here to build a plant to create American jobs?
Oh, wow. And they rounded them up.
And I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. This isn't about sanctuary cities. This isn't about rounding up rough, bad people. This is about y'all being pissed off about something. Because if this was about rounding up people who were bad for the country, you all would be doing a totally different kind of job. That is my opinion.
Well,
and that's what I'm putting out, because none of you asked people to come in and build this for you. You asked them in. You said, here's the job. And then you say, oh, and we're arresting you.
So I also think you can't separate the politics from...
And, you know, when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people to do, you know, complex things, whether it's battery manufacturing or computer manufacturing or building ships. So we're going to look at that whole situation. We have a lot of industries that we don't have anymore, and we're going to have to train people. And the way you train people is bring people in that know what they're doing and let them stay for a little while and help. So I'm going to look at that. It's a very interesting situation that took place in Georgia. And we heard about it yesterday. At the same time, ICE was doing right because they were here illegally. But we do have to work something out where we bring in experts so that our people can be trained so that they can do it themselves. Does that make sense? Right?
Is it straining the relationship with Korea at all?
No, we have a great relationship with South Korea.
There was a woman that called ICE on people working in a Hyundai factory outside of Savannah, thinking that she was being a hero by calling ICE. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of ICE and everything. What I'm going to talk about in this TikTok is how it frustrates me that people do not understand how capitalism functions. They don't, like, it literally, they have such a surface level of what it means to live in a capitalistic society, what it means to have that economic system. The thing about capitalism is that you have to exploit somebody. There are people who were working in factories. And I'm not saying, this is not me saying it's okay that people are, that they are exploiting immigrants, but this is literally what we're talking about. You're not actually benefiting people by calling ICE on them. She was even in her video, she was like, oh, these people are like living in a small town or a small house with 5 families deep with no quality of, like, what do you think happens whenever you perpetuate capitalism? What do you think? How do you think Shein is so cheap? How do you think these things are cheap? And this is not me condoning it. It's just like, this is my literal frustration, because this is why we're making these arguments that if you really care about like the quality of life of people who immigrate to this country, maybe focus on immigration laws and not putting them in more harm's way to potentially go to a concentration camp. Like, and that's my thing that I get so frustrated with people who just literally do not understand the functions of capitalism at the basic level, that you need someone to exploit. And there's always going to be levels of that exploitation. Like, literally the only people who benefit from all of this are the people who own most of it. It's literally the 1%. So you guys, like, literally get some fucking class consciousness. And it's so crazy. Like, I know this woman doesn't know shit because she thought calling ICE on these people was the solution. She really genuinely, in her hearts of hearts, thought calling ICE on them would be the solution, because as long as they're not in America, illegally, they're not going to get exploited. Like, oh my God.
The way these people were being treated is what matters. I didn't know a damn thing about the Koreans. That wasn't my dish, and obviously that's being investigated because they had work visas that had expired.
First of all, Tori, you look like the love child of Kate Gosselin and Mama June. Second, you should see what the President of the United States has to say about this, because he's walking this back as well.
It's a battery factory in that case, as I'm told. And, you know, when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people.
Because Hyundai, pronounced like Sunday, not Hyundai like you're saying, is a Korean company. So it makes sense in this instance that Hyundai would send Korean nationals over to train people as those factories are being built. And I notice you have your comments turned off in your most recent video, so it sounds like someone can't take the heat. Because you potentially royally screwed up the Georgia economy. You're risking potentially up to 8,500 jobs. And you said that you didn't know that there were Korean workers there, which means that you probably didn't know anything at all. Because if it's already difficult for you to pronounce Hyundai, then, you know, I'm assuming that a lot of other things are probably difficult for you too. But anyways, have the day you deserve.
Karens don't call the manager anymore, they call ICE. And in Georgia, that phone call shut down a whole plant. So over the weekend, ICE raided the Hyundai plant in Georgia. And you know who set it off? A woman named Tori Branum. Yeah, Tori picked up the phone and called ICE like she was reporting noise in the neighborhood to the HOA president. But no, she was reporting workers. And here's the kicker. She's running for Congress as a Republican. Now, here's the part they don't really want you to know. Most of those workers from the raid were not undocumented. They were actually here legally through a government program. The government knew it, and Tori knew it too when she made the call. But still, ICE showed up anyway. Because see, let's be real. None of this is ever about legality. It's about making sure folks know they're not welcome. And that, you all, is the American-made truth. When Karens run out of neighbors to call on, they go call the feds. Because see, Karens are American-born, bred, and raised. And their natural habitat is other people's business. So while Tori is out here weaponizing ICE as her campaign commercial, you need to understand the bigger picture. This is what happens when xenophobia isn't just tolerated, it's actually rewarded. The system doesn't need you to be guilty of anything. All it takes is one phone call from a wannabe congresswoman, and boom, lives flipped upside down. So Georgia residents, y'all better pay attention. Because if this is what Tori does as a resident Karen, imagine what she'll do with a seat in Congress.
There's a woman on here bragging about calling ICE on Hyundai. She just saved Georgia jobs. Let's get clear. That Hyundai plant in Elabelle is still under construction. There are no Georgia jobs ever to steal. She's mad because Hyundai brought in Korean nationals. And why wouldn't they? It's a Korean company. They need their own specialists to build a plant to their standards. Cars start in Korea. And let me give you an example. My car, for example. My car was mostly built in Korea and finished off here. That's how they do it. Under U.S. regulations. That's global manufacturing 101. Now here's the kicker. She reported them because they were working for, quote unquote, slave wages. Let's stop it right there. If you're really mad about slave wages, then your issue is with Hyundai and their subcontractors, the ones writing those checks. But instead of calling out the billion-dollar corporation pocketing tax breaks, she goes after the workers. That's not justice. That's scapegoating. And I've seen this same energy before. My mentor's friend, may she rest in peace, she was like my mama, a black woman, went to do a wellness check in a rural Georgia town on official court orders. They refused to let her in. They called the sheriff on her, all because of who she was. It took a judge threatening contempt of court before they even finally backed down. This is how these backwoods towns operate. It's not about rules. It's about control and about deciding who belongs and who doesn't. Let's call this what it is. She ain't fighting for Georgians. She ain't fighting for no wages. She's playing the same old role, upholding a system that protects corporations and punishes families, and bragging about it like she is a hero. That's not justice. That's white supremacy in real time. Look, you don't have to work with me. You don't have to buy from me. But if you want to continue living in a society that acts like this, you need a plan. You really need a plan, because the current administration made mess like this. Look, tools in the bio. Full truth on Patreon. That's where it lies. But you need a plan B, especially if you black or brown.
So I be wondering, do these damn Karens just wake up and be like, who life can I fuck up today? Because did y'all hear about that lady that called ICE on the Hyundai plant workers? It was 450 workers. She done called ICE on them. They done all came and ICE done detained them all. But I guess they had to be illegal immigrants for them to detain them all. But damn, why do people go out of their damn way to make somebody suffer? That's 450 families that they got out here that they not gonna come home to. That they gonna have to get a call and get the news that they father or uncle or brother or cousin ain't coming home. Because you just decided to wake the hell up and call ICE on the whole plant. And now they talking about South Korea mad. Why the hell people can't mind they damn business? That be taking it to, like, that's take 450 people. Her name is Tori Branum. Y'all can go look it up. Y'all, that is sad.
As you guys may already know, we have the MAGA Republican candidate out of Georgia, Tori Branum, is on an internet bragging spree. She's all over the internet bragging about exposing the largest ICE bust in immigration history. And little did she know, she was dealing with a double-edged sword. Now, Tori Branum is stating she hired a union worker informant to bring her information over a month's time, and then took it to ICE to expose for slave wages. Some people got unalived in the plant, and the facility wasn't operable. All of this information she is exposing all over social media, not realizing that she could have just cost Donald Trump a $150 billion deal that he just sat down with South Korea's president and negotiated. That's right. Little did she know that Donald Trump and the president of South Korea had just made a major deal. They made a deal to bring $150 billion to America between Hyundai and LG, which $26 billion of that is coming directly from Hyundai. However, she just got Hyundai's largest facility shut down in Georgia. See, while she was on her selfish mission to make a name for herself because she's running in the next upcoming election, what she didn't realize was she was opening up a whole nother can of worms. See, she's stating this is what she voted for. She wanted the illegal immigrants out of here and give Americans the jobs back. But what you fail to realize, when you touch a large corporation like that, they have to be held accountable because it's a South Korean corporation and 450 detainees were from South Korea. So that is holding the CEO accountable. They allowed them to work there. So she just blew up a major deal that Donald Trump had just secured. Congratulations, Tori Branum. You just made a name for yourself.
Hyundai? Yeah, so you dense, dumb, and stupid. For you to sit up here and admit that you called ICE, causing a raid for Hyundai to lose over $1 billion, stop operation, and prevent a whole bunch of people of getting new jobs. You are so proud of yourself that you are responsible for almost 500 people getting deported that were sent here to bring jobs to Georgia. It was your blatant racism, but you're trying to justify it saying that it was slave labor and that they were getting paid a low wage. Ma'am, you don't care about those people. You do not care about those people. You did not want these people in your country. And you're so slow that you did not understand why they were over here, you numb nut. I'm trying to calm down, but I get so tired of you people. Yeah, you people, you know the terminology y'all like to use. I'm so tired of y'all with this savior complex, thinking that y'all have to be the hero in every scenario with a situation that has nothing to do with you. And I just got to get this off of my chest. May the odds never be in your favor. I hope every time you get up in the middle of the night, you hit your pinky toe on the side of the bed. I hope bed bugs eat your ass up every night. And yeah, that Congress seat that you think that you have in the bag that you're going to win, may you lose it. May you have the life you absolutely deserve.
So you telling me the lady was trying to do some racist prejudice shit, right? She called ICE on a whole goddamn factory, thinking that they were illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants. She thinking she ready to be like, oh yeah, I got to get these motherfuckers up out of here. She called ICE. They went down there to the dealership, the factory, and they deported, arrested, detained damn near 500 people, they said. 500 people. 450 of them were South Korean. They were Korean. Not even Hispanic. Not all of them had their documents and everything. And that lady really called on some, oh, I got a hot tip. You rather cost the industry millions, maybe billions of dollars. That's what your ass get. That's what your ass get. Now, you're going to be the poster child for when they ask, whatever happened to the dealership that was down in Georgia? Your face should pop up. Your face should be right there. That lady did it. She did it. She called with a hot tip thinking she was being nasty. And I guarantee you, she didn't do it for the kindness of her heart. She was being a nasty individual. And you're going to get a whole plant shut the fuck down. You might potentially cost America business with Korea. You need to mind your goddamn business. This is a lesson for anybody. And I'm whispering because I don't want the government to hear me. I don't need them to hear me. You get what I'm saying? But, lady, you in trouble. What's your name anyways? What, somebody know her name? I need to go talk to her. I need to do an interview. I want to do a live interview with her to say, what were you thinking when you called ICE and said they had all them illegal immigrants working in there, and you got the whole shit shut down, and you cost America billions upon billions upon billions.
I find it hilarious that my students who are 14 to 18 years old have more critical thinking skills than a lot of adults. And yes, I'm talking about that woman in Georgia who called immigration on the Hyundai plant. Because I teach a class called In These Times, which is about current issues that we're facing right now. And they decide what we learn about. And that's what they wanted to talk about today. Because she really thought she did something there. She's like, I'm going to get 475 jobs back for the American people by calling immigration on this Hyundai plant without doing any research or even thinking for 1 second before she acted. Because that plant wasn't even functional yet. It was literally being set up by engineers from South Korea for a Korean company so that they could train over 8,500 American citizens to bring those manufacturing jobs into the US. The reason that they hired those Korean engineers to do this and to set it up was because, number one, the instructions were in Korean. So unless you speak Korean, you're not going to be qualified for the job. And number two, you're not going to find 475 people, Americans, who can set up the facility. And then she got on social media and bragged about it. Honey, yes, you did do something there. Because now the South Korean government, one of our allies, is not happy with us. Not only are they not happy with us, but how does that affect our economy now that they might not want to continue building manufacturing plants in the US if that's how they're going to be treated? Again, my high schoolers can think of these things. Why can't adults? Boggles my mind.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country.
You didn't save them anything. You got 475 people arrested and thrown into detention. You made their lives infinitely worse. Before I continue, if any of this matters to you, like and follow. Let's call this what it is. It's a textbook white savior complex. You talk about modern day slavery because it lets you play the hero. But if you actually care about exploitation, you know that actions like yours never punish the people at the top. Hyundai made it very clear. None of the detained workers were their direct employees. They were all hired through subcontractors. So when you call ICE, you didn't get the multi-billion-dollar corporation in trouble. You got their victims punished. You targeted the people trying to find a better job than they could get back home. Why not go after the companies that profit from this system? Because that's hard work. Calling ICE on the vulnerable, it's easy. You claim you were saving them. Saving them from what? A bad job? Now thanks to you, they're in an ICE detention facility facing deportation. You didn't end their exploitation. You just made the US government final exploiter. You aren't a hero. You're just a tool that powerful people use to clean up their messes. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, follow for more.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run.
I don't think William Tecumseh Sherman did as much damage to the state of Georgia as that woman who called ICE on Hyundai and their employees, had them all detained, and now South Korea is throwing a massive massive fit. They sent their own citizens down to train Americans so that they could be fully functional in this factory. Trump and MAGA complain all the time. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? Are overseas. Bring them back to America. And then when we finally do, some dumbass, bitch-ass idiot calls ICE and has these people detained. Now South Korea has sent a plane, picked up all their asses, and who knows if they're ever coming back. This is going to take 8,000 plus jobs away from the state of Georgia, and possibly many more, and all this manufacturing that they would have had, all the money this would have generated for the state of Georgia and our country is now potentially gone, and that may just be that little portion.